How do we determine the quality of life of each particular country? This is a question economists have been asking for ages, and it's something that Econ 1000 has the answer to. Economists often use the GDP or gross domestic product to calculate the quality of life. Next, we can look at the definition and break it down a little bit more. The GDP is the market value of all goods and services that are produced in a country during a period of time. Remember, this is final goods and services, but don't worry, I'll explain it a little bit more for you guys. The market value is how much a product sells after it's been produced or manufactured and then sold in a store, also known as the market price. This is the price for which consumers purchase it at. Final goods and services means that we can only count products that are used that are finally sold to consumers. For example, if you went to Sparky's and got a cone of ice cream, we wouldn't count the sugar that Sparky's purchases, the chocolate, or the milk in the GDP. Instead, we would just calculate your ice cream cone. Period of time just refers to how long we are looking at the products that are produced. Typically, this is a year. So say it's your 16th birthday and your parents are buying you a car. If they were to buy you a car produced in 2005, you'd be pretty sad because it might be kind of old. But it also wouldn't be counted in the GDP because it wasn't produced in that year. If you were to get a car that was produced in 2018, it would count and you get a nice new car. Although it's pretty simple, GDP doesn't count for everything. Let's take a look at the two things that they don't count for. First, we have household production, and then second, underground economy. Household production refers to transactions that occur for goods and services that are transferred in a household. Say, for example, that you mow a neighbor's lawn or babysit their kids for $20. They would hand you the cash directly. That's not counted in the GDP. Instead, it goes from one person's hand to the next. The second thing that we cannot count in GDP is underground economy. Typically, this refers to anything that is illegal. So any underground trades of drugs or illegal guns, we can't track, so they won't be counted in the GDP. Even though this sounds pretty simple, it's important to remember that money does not always equal happiness. For example, quality of life can also include leisure time, which is not counted in the GDP because it's not working. Or second of all, pollution, which can occur from high production, typically lowers the quality of life that someone might have in a country. Overall, though, GDP is the most common measure used in economics. Since it's used pretty much all over the globe and it's easy to understand, we can also easily compare it. This is great for creating rankings of what is, to economists, the country with the highest quality of life. For this year, it's projected that USA will be first at 20,400 billion, China will be second at 14,000 billion, and Japan will be third at 5,000 billion. I hope you got to learn a little bit more about what economists think is the quality of life. Thank you so much for listening.